Hey guys, if you've been following my channel for even a little while, you probably know that before ever getting into Street Fighter 4, I was a Street Fighter 3 tournament player from the heyday of the Third Strike tournament scene. And something recently just popped up on YouTube that I find really interesting. It's the Kuroda Street Fighter 3 DVDs. If you don't know who Kuroda is, basically um, well, there's this guy, MOV, who's usually regarded to be one of the greatest, if not the greatest, Street Fighter 3 player in the history of the game. And he plays Chun-Li, who's usually regarded to be one of the best characters, or if not the best character. And this guy, MOV, is phenomenal at pretty much every element of the game. And I think he's won 4 Togeki Super Battle Operas, which is the most esteemed tournament for Third Strike, all the time it was running. And Kuroda is his close friend, apparently, and teammate, and training partner. And Kuroda is also pretty well known in the scene for his Q. Like, there's a lot of old footage of his Q playing. But midway through the lifespan of Third Strike, it started becoming apparent that Kuroda and a lot of the people who were playing closely with him were some of the highest skill players of Third Strike, and it wasn't really necessarily showing through because Kuroda usually plays a lot of random low tier characters. I don't actually know that much about Kuroda. He's kind of shrouded in mystery. He's supposedly a really eccentric guy, and I've heard stories about him like he doesn't have a cell phone. Like he just kind of shows up to arcades and plays casuals and leaves, and like he'll go to tournaments and things, but apparently he's really hard to get hold of, and very few people really know the guy. But that's just what I hear. I have no idea if that's true or not. But the tournament, the arcade that he would commonly play at, um, since he can play such a wide number of characters, um, there he made an agreement with the arcade to start selling DVDs that just have a bunch of match footage of him playing particular characters, like several hours each, and they would sell these DVDs to people who came to the arcade, and there would be people who would go over to Japan and buy them, and then like buy a bunch of them, and then sell them to people on over Shoryuken and stuff like that. And I'd heard about these, and I'd frequently considered buying these character DVDs of Kuroda playing these characters, and I'd never actually done it, but now a good number of them, I can't tell if it's all of them, appear to be on YouTube, and I don't know if I'll get in trouble for re-hosting this. So just in case, I'm gonna make it so that this doubles as just a sound file that you can play while watching them on your own. Which also means that once I hit play on this video, um, I'm not gonna pause it again just to make sure that it stays in sync, which means I might have to kind of talk in a hurry or whatever. But right here, I've got open the Kuroda Oro DVD. I haven't watched it yet. The thing about I'm an Oro main, and Kuroda supposedly in most of these DVDs, I haven't watched any of them. Supposedly in most of these DVDs, he plays all the characters in a kind of similar way, where he just sort of fishes for He plays the opponent's character more so than he plays his own character. He sort of fishes for parries and gets big punishes whenever he gets one, and that's sort of what the highest level play of this game usually looks like. Um, so the thing about his Oro and I think his Q and his Hugo is he actually plays those characters really well. Doesn't just play against the opponent. He plays those characters in a very particular, effective way. And those are supposedly three of his three best characters. And Kuroda recently went on record and said that Oro was uh, a top tier character, like one one of the best characters in the game, which I've always thought was theoretically true, and also made a bunch of claims about his matchups being particularly strong, which I for the most part agree with. But some of the claims were really outrageous, and I couldn't even imagine them being true. Like he listed Oro Yun as being a 5-5 matchup, and I've always thought that was heavily in Yun's favor. I think Oro's really good in most matchups, but that one struck me as really bizarre. Um, so I've never seen Kuroda play. I've seen Kuroda play Oro a little bit. He ran Oro in Togeki, I think 2010 or something, and 2012 maybe. And I think he lost every single match. I think he actually completely got carried by his team. I mean, his team came in first, so he technically came in first. But I think he didn't have a winning match the entire tournament. So I haven't actually seen him playing Oro at a level where he really looks competitive with other people. But Japanese players have played his Oro and say that it's the real deal. So I'm really excited to see it actually doing the things that win, I guess. So I'm gonna hit play on this video, and let's take a look at it. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, start. Oh, the volume's alright. I might turn it down just a little bit. Maybe a little more. So this is a Yang. Oro Yang is usually regarded to be slightly in Yang's favor, but I think it might be theoretical at the highest level, or might be theoretically a 5-5 at the highest level of play. He's already nearly dizzied him. For those who aren't savvy to the strike mechanics, there's dizzy bars under the health bars, and the dizzy bars go down really, really slowly. Like Street Fighter 2 and 4, if you avoid damage for a little while, you get your dizzy back down to 0. This game, your dizzy stays kind of constant, and Oro's dizzy is really high. It looks like Kuroda's for the most part. You can kind of see it. He's well, right now he's just blocking, but he seems really ready and willing to parry one Rekka. You can't mash out Rekka super quickly if someone parries one, unless it's EX. And Yang in this game, one Rekka is safe, as it is in Street Fighter 4, I guess. Ooh. So Yang just between stand strong Rekkas, or just Rekkas by themselves, and low forward Rekkas, you can't parry. Both of those are safe block strings, and one's a high parry only, and the other's a low parry only. Yeah, there you go. He got the guess right, or if it was even a guess on the low short into Rekka. Toro's on. So Yang is usually regarded to be a very high dizzy, very safe character, and you usually have to use parries to open him up because everything he does is very riskless. That was really strange. He got the stand strong. He got the parry into the stand strong. He could have canceled immediately to the orbs, but he went into a super jump. It might have been a super jump. It might have been trying to be a super jump into super jump cancel super, because that gives you more time to react. Damn, these happen so fast. Glad he's fighting Yang again. I'm not sure to what degree I should talk about Street Fighter 3 the game in general, or what I should talk about for just like the individual matches. You can see he's going for, that was low parry into high parry, expecting the low forward canceled into Rekka, but it was just a low forward by itself and no Rekka, so because he was going for the high parry after that, he was, oh, I'm so engrossed in watching these. Because it was a high parry after that, he didn't actually get a punish, even though he got the low parry off. If he went straight to a punish, he would have gotten it, but it would have lost to the high Rekka, the high parry of the Rekka. Anti-air parries are really strong for Oro. Most characters, when they get an anti-air parry, they can just do like a regular anti-air, but Oro can do his launchers, which are the same combos regardless of whether he hits people out of the ground or off the air. So he gets like 50% combos just from hitting a stand strong on the opponent at any time. So 50% damage anti-airs are really, really useful. That's, of course, assuming Oro has full meter. The thing about this matchup that's really a big deal is that Oro can't do his looping juggle on twins. Their tiny hitbox makes it so that combo, for the most circumstances, doesn't work. That, again, could have been a kill combo. He got the parry, he got the stand strong. He could have gone straight into 5 stone super, and he didn't. It's really weird that this is best of 5. 5 stone super is a what's that move called? The command grab. 5 stone super lasts about 6 seconds real time and has infinite juggle potential, and the 3 stone super lasts about 12 seconds real time and can't juggle at all. I shouldn't say it can't juggle at all, but it uses up juggle potential incredibly quickly. So they both cost the same thing, and they both have their strengths and weaknesses. They both cost a whole super bar. Dive kicks are really good in this game. Dive kicks are really good in all fighting games. That was a really good high parry. You can actually parry stand short, high, or low, I think. So that wasn't even really, he didn't even need to guess right. There's a little trip guard with a stand forward, tried to go for a meaty overhead. Yang's nearly dizzy, you could potentially dizzy him off one stand forward right now. That's a car throw, off of probably stand roundhouse. Maybe stand forward though. Stand forward, you can only get car throws off far forward. Close forward doesn't work. That was a really far throw though. Oro otherwise has the shortest throw range in the game. But with the far forward car throw, it's ridiculously high, and with the stand roundhouse car throw, it's about slightly higher than most characters' normal throw range. That was attempting to be a stand strong anti-air for a dive kick probably. By the way, he timed it, but he got the far strong because no dive kick happened. This is the 3-stone pressure. It's really hard to parry out of this. It's not really hard to parry out of it, but you do have to guess right, and you do have to have pretty good execution. Yang has very low health in this game. The health dissonance in this game is higher than it is in Street Fighter 4. That was an anti-air. I think he expected him to land. I would go for strong there. There, that's what he meant to do. Saying strong is much more rewarding. It's the launcher. That was a nice throw. I don't know what the roundhouse was supposed to be. That's really strange. Maybe just trying to punish a parry. EX Rekkas from Yang do a lot of dizzy, and they're the only Rekkas that combo from light normals. Unlike Street Fighter 4, you can't do medium normals into Rekkas, it doesn't combo. Meaty sweep, that's just a punish high parry and high blocking, I suppose. Overheads are really fast in this game. And every character has access to one or multiple overheads. The rocks don't help Oro's defense much, but they help his offense a lot. They do actually help his defense though. They give all his attacks a lot more block stun, so if you can get off low short or something. They also can't be counter hit like projectiles. That was a nice parry. Off of anti-air, that was actually one of the scenarios where you could get the loop, but he missed it. Off of anti-air connect of stand strong, you can get three or four additional hits of juggle. And if you go into super, you can make that an infinite number as long as you have got time left on the rocks. That meaty jump is trying to bait a parry or a grab or something. Throwing versus blocking, etc. Reversals. The mix-up, the Okizeme is still there in this game. It's actually there far stronger in this game than it is in Street Fighter 4. Notably, most reversals in this game don't have any invincibility apart from some supers. That's nice. That's going to do a lot of damage. Apart from some supers. Ooh. So the only invincible option most characters have is to parry their way out, which makes parries a very ubiquitous wake-up option. But also, parrying carries a lot of risk. He plays this matchup for the most part the way I play this matchup. I haven't seen anything astounding yet. That was cool. He had a juggle there. He could have kept doing roundhouse. I don't know if he could have kept doing roundhouse. He definitely could have gone that towards strong. If you dizzy the opponent, they moves that reset suddenly knock down, and you can get juggles if you haven't used up the juggle counter yet. Not taking throws at all. I think this Yang realized that on the second jump of that round, and then threw immediately on the third jump of that round. He keeps on dropping that. I wonder if it's... I doubt it's on purpose. That's a pretty hard combo to drop, honestly. This is the one context. This is one of two contexts in which you can get the loop on twins. If he gets a throw or a stand roundhouse, I was going to say. What the hell? He would dizzy Yang. That's bad, honestly. Come on, Kuroda. That was a meaty universal overhead. Oro crouches lower than most of the casts, so if he gets hit by universal overheads, a lot of characters can get links out of them. Universal overheads are unsafe on high block, but safe on hit, or low hit, more accurately. They hit later if the opponent is crouching. That's good, this juggle. You got a pretty weak juggle, considering. For the most part, universal overheads have zero combo potential whatsoever. But if you do them meaty, you get the possibility you can combo out of them. Also in this game, there's no counter hits, but if your opponent is crouching, you do a little bit more block, hit stun and damage. So if an overhead hits a crouching opponent, it's usually a bit safer, especially considering that the universal overhead takes longer to hit on a crouching opponent, which is, you know... This is really close to dizzy. Yeah, I would have done an overhead there, honestly. That was a good play. Oro with just a couple hits can just nearly dizzy the opponent. The real area that he shines is that if he gets a close strong and he's using Super 2, he can get unblockables on the opponent. And I heard that Kuroda ran Super 2 against Yun, and that seems... I would run Super 3 against Yun and Yang because it gives you really high damage option against them if you ever hit them, and it gives you an ability to like juggle them. And Super 2 usually works by merit of the fact that you can use up the juggle potential, so you can get a meaty like 3-hit super on the opponent, and that's really difficult to do. It's not difficult, it's just really expensive. It takes a lot more meter against Yun and Yang than other characters because of the setups you have to use. So I would always run Super 3 against Yun and Yang, and I heard that Kuroda ran Super 2 against Yun, so I'm really surprised that he's not also running it against Yang, because it's pretty much all the same arguments apply. 90% a hitbox issue. This is a neat matchup. I've played this one a lot myself. He's being real good about parrying those dive kicks. Parrying those dive kicks, it usually guarantees you a punish for the dive kick, but the thing is, a dive kick versus a non-dive kick can be different parry timings, and sometimes it's hard to react. Not only that, but dive kicks can come in at fake hitting arcs, kind of like a T-Hawk who dives and lands in front of you in Street Fighter 4, I guess. That was nice. That was to bait a crouch tag. The thing about crouch tags in this game is that they still work, but they come out as crouch jabs instead of crouch shorts, which means they can be parried high or low. And also, you can't combo them like you can in Street Fighter 4. So for the most part, crouch tagging is still useful, but it carries a lot more risk than it does in that game and a lot less reward. These are all safe. All of this is safe. Oro's point-blank punishing power is pretty good, but his ranged punishing power is some of the worst in the game. If something's unsafe, but recovers kind of far out, Oro often doesn't get a punish. And if he does, it's usually just an uppercut. Or like a poke. He can only get his launcher point-blank because it's a close normal. So basically he needs to parry a lot to guarantee opportunities for those. You can air throw there. I'm not too surprised that he didn't. I would have. Oro has an air throw. That's gonna dizzy. I'm really surprised that killed. I was worried that it wouldn't. I would have done a neutral jump, but Yang could have shaken out of a dizzy in that time. You can shake out of dizzies quite fast in this game. But I would have done a jumping combo to punish. Yang has really low health though. That was nice. It's really cool that he's getting those kinds of parries. I can't tell if they're red parries. It looks like the Yang's kind of delaying it. But the way that this is recorded, it's not immediately obvious when a red parry is happening. A red parry is just a parry out of block stun. The timing is a lot tighter than a normal parry. In this game there's no auto block, so you can't just mash forward during block strings and then hope you get a parry. There's a good chance that if you time it wrong, you're just going to eat the hit. If you stop blocking during a true block string, you start getting hit. Unlike Street Fighter 4. See, this dive kick pressure is really strong. He actually did the whole thing, and then the super just to not make it safe, but to punish attempted punishes, failed punishes. That's nice. Yang trying to parry his way out. He pretty much has to. It's these stones last a ridiculously long time. It's really easy, even against really high level players, to get 60-70% of the opponent's health bar off if they fail to parry out, which they usually will. It's one of the most broken things in the game on paper. Very hard to unlock though. Oro's frequently like that though. Oro's almost dizzy now. EX Tor's on. That was it. Oh, okay. This will definitely kill. Oro's health is low average. I think he's in the 1120 bracket. Most characters are either 1120 or 1200. Shadows are 1200. Very unusual amounts. Those were all parries. Jumped in, expected a block, did a bunch of parries. It's not very risky to go for, you can see. He could have gotten thrown, but getting thrown in this game is not that bad. You can quick stand throws. They don't do a whole lot of damage, they don't do a whole lot of dizzy, and parries are very rewarding. So a lot of people just, at the high level, a lot of people just don't care if they get thrown. And most throws will just work. Aura's throws both change sides. There's no way to throw the opponent in a particular direction with Aura. Both his throws cross up. He does have two different throws, but both of them leave his opponent behind him, which is really annoying if you're trying to pressure a cornered opponent. If you want to go for the throw, you get them out of the corner. Alex? This is a Super 2 matchup. Yeah, he went to it. It's Hyper Bomb Alex, that's really strange. Hyper Bomb is a 2-frame throw. You can jump out of it after the Super Freeze. Think Dirty Bull. It's a lot like Dirty Bull. It gives you good punishes. The Super Bar is unfortunately really long too. The damage is high though. It's great after a parry. You don't see it very often though. Most Alexes just try to get a lot of Super Meter. Choose Super 2 because it has the most EX moves. There's a command grab beaten by a regular grab. So on cornered opponents, you can do a super and then jump over the opponent, and like you can just block the super, even if it's coming from the other side by blocking away from Aura. But if you're getting hit from one side by a super and from the other side by a cross up, the game, or even just not even by a cross up, by like other normals, the game doesn't really know what to do, and it just makes it so you can't block. This is a setup. He missed the roundhouse. That's a setup to force it so the opponent can't quick stand. You can tag on a roundhouse for a little bit of extra dizzy and damage. If the opponent doesn't parry, he could have just blocked that too. I don't know why he didn't. It looks like this Alex doesn't really know what he's doing. Aura doesn't have enough time to jump over you and get behind you and combo out of the orb. So that's not a great setup. This is far enough away from the corner. Yeah. The Alex jumping out was the right decision. Yeah. He recovers really fast from that super. I like that. He really shouldn't have gone for the... I shouldn't say he shouldn't have gone for the jump over, but he wasn't going to get the unblockable no matter what he did. I wouldn't have. Aura wins solidly in footsies in this matchup, so you don't need to do anything incredible to win, Dizzy. That sweep just missed. Alex and Chun-Li are two of the characters. You can actually do it with everyone, but it's really picky depending on the move you're going into. Alex and Chun-Li are two of the characters where you can juggle into lows, because they get abnormally close to the ground before they actually hit the ground. So here's Yan, and I think he chose Super 3, so this might be old. I don't know when these were recorded. I know it was a long time ago. This might be before the development of the new Aura meta, as he apparently defines it. Meaty lows, that's the blow up high parry. A lot of people parry on wake up. Parrying high or low is just a 50-50. Of course there are things that'll beat both high and low parry, such as a meaty throw, or depending on the character, various other things. Multi-hit attacks can often screw up parry attempts, like Yun meaty stand fierce. If you parry, it's two hit high. If you high parry once and then do anything but a throw, the second hit of the fierce will beat out your thing. And of course Aura has a command grab that's unparryable, even though it's blockable. There are a lot of ways to overheads and lows, you see that? Mix-ups. Meaty low forward into command grab is unsafe on block, but knocks down on hit. You can't just do meaty low forward by itself. Yun's punishes aren't great. Depends. Most Yuns won't get more than like a low forward into Zesho Ho-Ho. Ganejin is really solid to activate in footsies in this game because the meter is so short. Aura can run away from it really well. Kuroda is apparently really good at that. That was meaty command grab to blow up any parry attempts. Aura's got the shortest duration backdash in the game, and a super jump that goes really high. So he can force Yun to do a mix-up to approach him. That was a good bait at the throw. He was like standing there parrying. Yun did walk in throw there. That was really smart. Dropped a combo. So Genei-jin is super good in this game because the meter's so short, and Yun can just pressure safely and then combo into like 40% damage combos anytime he actually sees a hit connect. And it's virtually riskless. It's almost impossible to parry, and there are very few invincible moves to try and beat it out. So every time that Yun activates Genei-jin, he can push a mix-up, and as soon as he... Chun-Li Oro is 8-2. It's the worst matchup in the game that involves a... that doesn't involve a low tier. I think on paper it might actually be 7-3, but classically it's been labeled 8-2. 8-2 is a really bad matchup. You don't see anything like that in Street Fighter 4. I don't think there's been an 8-2 in the series. The thing about this matchup is that Chun-Li wins solidly in footsies. So even though she doesn't have very good anti-air, and Oro can sort of jump around for free, she absolutely just smacks Oro around on the ground, and he has a really hard time landing connects on her. This is actually a Super 1 Chun-Li, I just realized that. That's really weird. I would never run Super 1 as Chun-Li. Maybe against Hugo. She actually down forward. She did down forward midair, the stomp, and it landed on a stone. It's kind of funny. The thing about Chun-Li is that she can poke around with low forward and then cancel down reaction to super. And that's a pretty big deal because if she... Wow, this Chun-Li's missing a lot of punishes. She's got her super 2, she can have it stocked and it does a retarded amount of damage and dizzy. And then it leads to a mix-up. That's good. That's one of the invincible supers of the game, I think. It charges really fast, but the fact that you can only have one at a time... Chun-Li's kind of a shrug character when she doesn't have meter. She's the best character in the game when she has a super stock, but without meter, her combos are really short, and the only thing that she has is footsies. So that's pretty good. Meaty lightning legs is pretty much safe on parry. It takes a very elaborate parry to try and beat it, or I think a 3-frame normal. You have to parry like one hit and then do a 3-frame normal. So it's pretty riskless to go for and does a lot of chip damage. That left forward could have been cancelled to super. He should really be looking for things like that at this point. Well, I don't know. He can win without super right now. Didn't need the damage. Are you ready? Go! Or I can just kill Chun-Li immediately if he ever gets... What are these? Was that walk-in, low forward, spinning bird? That's really hard to do. I think he got it on accident though, ironically. This requires charge partitioning. You would never do that, I don't think. Oro has, he has Touch of Deaths on Chun-Li, actually. And they're not even that hard, like I can do them. I've done match Touch of Deaths on Chun-Li, like in real matches. Oro is really good versus most of the cast, but he loses to the top tiers. He loses to Ken, Chun-Li, and Yun, and also Yang and Elena. Those are like his only bad matchups. He either wins or goes even against every other character. That's a really good... I think he was expecting low short, low jab, and he did low block into high parry. Or like low forward into fireball or anything. There are a lot of... Like low block into high parry is good against a lot of Ken's options. Doesn't beat all of them. It loses outright to like a lot of stuff. I shouldn't say a lot of stuff, to overheads and whatnot. Throw. It's a really good option though to make an unsafe common pressure tool safe. These low pokes are or Kuroda's got the life lead, so he doesn't really need to do anything really elaborate. All he has to do is he shouldn't just let Ken do things. Ken has to throw EX fireballs in the corner because regular fireballs are unsafe. Well, that was a nice car throw. I think that was the far forward car throw. That was really cool. That was a really weird fireball. I think Ken could have reversal supered some of those. Maybe just high blocked them. I don't know. Even if he low blocked them, he might have been able to. Or, you know, low got hit. That was also a car throw. Ken doesn't have a car throw in this game, or rather he does, but it's phenomenally bad. Ryu and Kuma have car throws, but Ken doesn't, which is why I thought it was really weird in Street Fighter 4 when Ken got a good car throw. A lot of people will throw fireballs and then try and chase them in with dashes. So what Kuroda's doing is he's parrying fireballs or red parrying second hits of EX fireballs, and then immediately poking. And that's the hit forward dashes. It's like a really common tactic in this game. It's a nice little dash through. Kuroda blocked correctly though, to his credit. Whoa! He could only have gotten a poke from the first low parry, and he didn't even go for the poke. He just walked in and got a new parry. That was pretty cool. It's hard to get shadows in the corner with a juggle. I usually do a modified version that works reliably, but does like a pixel less damage. That's not the hardest red parry in the game, but it's clutch to be able to get red parries at all. To red parry a super is a 3-frame window, which is not terribly small. His life was on the line though. I've never gotten that super red parry in a match. I've gotten other super red parries in a match, but not that one. You get a much bigger punish for most characters if you red parry that super. You can often do like jump back into jumping combos. But Oro just does stand strong. Whether he parries it or blocks it or whatever. Shotos have a really short duration dash in this game, so they frequently just dash around a lot. Like dash into low or dash into throw is considered very, very strong for Shotos. Shotos are slower than most of the other characters in this game and do higher damage than most of the other characters in this game. Especially meterless damage. A lot of characters can do high damage only with bar. Oro's damage is alright. It's around the middle of the pack. It's very high when he has a super. Otherwise, it's about normal. It's maybe slightly above normal. So the thing about Hyakuretsu Kyaku is that the Chun-Li can mash the legs for between 18 and I think 40 hits, depending on which version of lightning legs she did. And also, she can just stop doing lightning legs at any time. He could have gone stand short, and one of the rocks would have hit Chun-Li. He should have done that when she was jumping over. Even if it didn't hit, she would have been like it only wouldn't have worked if she parried it, and even if she parried it, that wouldn't have been bad. He was going for low parries, I think there. And if it did hit, he could have juggled into stand roundhouse because the stone causes a knockdown, a juggle state. He's just doing dash in into parries. That's really rad. That close stand roundhouse is not actually special cancelable or super cancelable, but you can jump cancel it, and then from pre-jump frames you can do a super jump cancel it. From pre-jump frames you can cancel into a super. So that's what, whoa. A little bit of sodium maybe. That's what Chun-Li's have to do every single time they cancel a close roundhouse, but I think it's her highest damage cancel. Most Chun-Li players are really good at it. It's one of the few executionally difficult things that Chun-Li has to master. Chun-Li's normally one of the easier characters to play. She does have a lot of executionally difficult things, but they don't help a whole lot compared to her very basic things. Like if you can low forward super with decent reliability, like the confirm, not just the cancel, you have the most useful thing Chun-Li has. And if you can car throw reliably, then you've got the second most useful thing she has. And just between those, you've got a true mix-up that works on every character and works on every pro. That was nice. That was a super jump, and then he charged down during the jump, and then he had down charge by the time he finished. And of course, EX uppercut Oniyama is invincible, and throw invincible, and does high dizzy. It's kind of like jump over Shoryuken in every fighting game. Every Street Fighter. The thing about this matchup that's really good is Oro stand forward. It goes over a lot of the low pokes that, yeah, there it is, that Shotos often do. It's not very rewarding, and it's always a high parry from the ranges where it works. but it does beat low forward clean. See, like right there, I would be content just beating the low forward with my own stand forward. But Kuroda sees the low forward, he's going for the parries in the low forward. That's a very optimized way of looking at the problem. That's why Kuroda's a better player than I am. He's getting a million more parries than I would ever get. I go for parries less than most players of my skill caliber, though. Nearly everyone I play who I go even with parries dramatically more than I do. Parries are worth going for. I just play not very risky. That was nice. It's really risky to tech those throws. Ken has the best Okizeme game of pretty much any character. Only Dudley might be better. Dudley gets more damage with his Okizeme. Ooh. Don't go for anti-air uppercuts in this game. Dudley gets more damage with his Okizeme, but I don't know. Ken has meaty low that can lead to super on reaction. He's got meaty overheads that can lead to super on reaction, and he's got you know, you can throw the opponent, or you can go for stand strong, stand fierce, which beats low parries. So basically, between just a very small number of options, Ken can just, that's a little gimmick. You can actually, there's a hard counter to that. I shouldn't say a hard counter. You can do jab and then dash under and get a cross up or a fake cross up. And if the opponent just taps one direction, whether it's one way or the other, you'll either get a block or a parry and dodge that mix up, and then you can throw. But of course, Oro can do a fake cross up or a real cross up into a low, but no one ever actually does that. But that's it's like a gimmick, but a lot of people don't really know Oro. That was a punish. It looked like Oro was still in the air there. That super comes out in 3 frames, I think. Maybe 4. But it's ridiculously fast. He could have done it there. It looked like he tried to, but no, he got a Tatsu. I don't know what he tried to do. If you ever block a command grab, you can do low forward super as Ken. Honestly, like, I haven't been impressed by any of Kuroda's opponents yet. Kuroda himself is playing really well. Okay, this Ken is playing well, but like, everyone's fucking up a lot. That was a really bad super jump, but it didn't cost him. Then he got hit anyway. That's nice. Ken saw the parrying and he got greedy. He didn't think that Kuroda was gonna die, or rather, it didn't matter if Kuroda died or not, because the match would have just ended if Kuroda died. So it was like in his mind riskless to dash forward. He was like taking the ground, and you know, if Kuroda parried, then he could follow him in. That was really, really offensive. And if Kuroda died, then Kuroda died. But he went in a little too hard, and this jump roundhouse hit. I don't know what that was supposed to be. Wake up stand strong is really weird, even if it's close strong, which is undoubtedly what he went for. That's nice. Good conversion. The stones don't have hitboxes unless Oro has a hitbox. Like if you do an attack and then the stones can hit, but otherwise they can't hit. Who actually does that in this game? I mean, it's important to Shoryuken every now and then, but Shoryuken is a really bad wake-up option. You can just beat that with meaty normals. I've personally beaten reversal hard Shoryuken with just like universal overhead and stuff. That was a nice parry, but unfortunately he just lost way too much health there, as is typical with Super 3. That's nice. Kuroda's going for a lot of parries, and against this kind of opponent, you sort of have to represent throw a ridiculous amount. I'd be dashing and throwing all the time. That was nice. That was an empty cancel, I think. Empty cancel into fireball into super would have been far better. Or, you know, just into super by itself. That was kind of an awkward jump. He couldn't do any. He had to play the defensive on that jump. He had to come down parrying. And Ken should have forced him to parry some safe things. For example, he should have Tatsu'd or something like that, I don't know. That was bad. Unfortunately, Oro's punishes are actually cut short by having 3 stones up. So you have to go for kind of weird punish options when you've got stones. You can go for some kind of cool, slightly longer combos, but you can't go for any juggle combos. Oro. Super 2 is a weird super to run this matchup. Theoretically, it works okay, but Oro has a reversal that makes him airborne on the first frame, which means he can dodge his own unblockable just by doing reversal stomp. That was nice. Hit the fireball. Even though that was a straight fireball, that roundhouse still would have hit, and it probably would have traded. But the trade is heavily in the roundhouse's favor. Wake up car throw. Meaty stomp and empty jump throw are basically a true mix-up. The only thing that beats them is reversals. Beats them both. Dang. Oro is a very stalematey mirror. The one who goes in is kind of at a disadvantage. It's easier to anti-air than it is to jump in this matchup, and it's easier to counter poke than it is to poke. And it's easy to sit on a life lead and hard to win one back. If you parry, you it's not a very good idea to parry that reset. If you parry, you reset your own juggle potential. Wow, that happens sometimes. Come on, Kuroda. Okay, that's a mix-up. I'll accept that one. That was an instant air one. What the hell is happening? He could have gone for the stand strong into the unblockable loop. This is bad. Reversal stomp. He didn't have the health to go for something like that, especially considering the super was right there. That was gonna fail no matter what. That was nice. Parry into what looked like a Kara command grab. You just do half circle back, and then medium kick Kara into any punch. Yeah, Kuroda knows this matchup. He's landing a ton of hits. You can't jump over Oro in the corner. So honestly, that Oro should have blocked. Like, I don't know why he got hit. There wasn't a mix-up. The worst thing that Kuroda could have done is follow in the super and then go for an overhead or a low. And 2 hits of the super would have already connected by then, possibly 3. There was no reason not to block that. I would always run super 3 in this matchup personally. That was good. That looked like a yeah. He's doing Kara fireball, Karaing off of far stand forward. This is good. What can he make of it? Just uppercut. That's the damage ender. It's not the highest Izzy. It's not the highest meter build, but it is the highest damage. You can't go into that. Doesn't work. He started with the stomp, so he couldn't do. He did it like he knew it was gonna work, but that doesn't work. Or like he thought it was gonna work. But he wasted his own super timing. He should have gone into 3-stun super from that setup. Anyway, he hit the juggle limit before the stones could activate, basically, because of his irregular starter. That stand forward's like a little option select. If they dash in, it hits really, really quickly, and if they don't dash in, it's a poke. Because it's far stand forward and close stand forward. That was a good jump in. He knew just the right time. It's not that risky to jump in this game, though. And he went for 3-stone. I can't decide if he prefers 3-stone or 6-stone in this matchup. He seems to go for either of them very arbitrarily. That's a punish. Kuroda blocked it correctly. That's something you should always block correctly. He screwed it up earlier. First up, whenever you see that was... I think that was an accidental parry. I think he wanted blocking. Didn't react to the side it was on. You should always move towards where Oro started before he did the stomp. And that way, you'll block the stomp and potentially get out of the way of it. Yeah, he did it right there. That's what you're supposed to do. And then he got a full punish, or he would have gotten a full punish if there was any life to give. I can't imagine that Kuroda wouldn't know that, so I can only imagine he's just kind of screwing around. Ah, he was too slow. Because it whiffed, it recovered really fast. It's hard to get that. It's not hard, but like, you know, between reacting and you know, getting the right distance and picking the normal, picking the punish, you can miss it. It's not out of the question. With Oro, you frequently have to kind of, this could potentially, he's going for the unblockable. He's going for the loop. He did it right. He got his juggle wrong. The thing is, it loops into itself. He could have gone for another juggle into, like, the unblockable super again, and he could have kept on doing that. This is basically inescapable. Yeah. The meaty stones have to be parried. There's no way around it. And then a throw, you can get thrown out of parries. You can tech the throws when you're getting thrown out of parries, but then you can get hit by like more chip damage, like the stones could have hit again or something like that. And you can parry and then take a throw and then parry immediately, but it gets ridiculously hard knowing which order things are about to happen, and you can't screw it up. Like if you take a throw right as soon as an the rock's about to hit you, you'll get hit. This is a 5-5. This is a fun matchup. Oro fights Makoto at a very even level. This is another matchup where I think at the high level it might be slightly in Oro's favor. He keeps on dropping his combos. That's not hard to complete. I don't know what's happening. Like, I've heard stories of Oros dropping combos on purpose just to get, whoa. She's facing the wrong way. Just to get, sneaky resets. But they usually do it with a lot more super meter remaining. And that way they can get, like, the reset into the stones. Because, only the first 2 hits of Stone's Juggle actually, like, the damage and Dizzy matters. The rest of it's just icing on the cake. The rest is, like, the first 2 hits do as much as the rest of the combo. There's damage scaling in this game, but pretty much the only characters that can hit it are characters with, are basically Oro with stones, maybe like Urium with mirror, and then like Geneji and Sayembu. Most characters can't really hit the damage scaling. Also whoa, that was nice. Damage scaling is activated by hits rather than actions or anything like that. So it's purely what number you hit. And Oro gets probably the highest hit counter of any character in the game, since all of his stones count for individual hits. Makoto's forward dash is so fast in this game that like dashing into Karakusa is like a legitimate mix-up. Just dash and throw, like legitimately very hard to deal with. That's a link. You got it. Staying strong into short is a link, and then short into Hayate combos, and then Hayate into Super 1 is a 1-frame link. More if they're crouching. That was a regular throw. I don't think that was a punish. That's a nice stand jab. This Makoto seems to be doing pretty well. That was weird. First I thought that was a Super 2. Doesn't have Super 2. Just jump back in the corner. I advise sticking to the ground if Oro has stones up. I don't think jumping is very good at all. It does waste time. He had a full kill right there. If I got parries, I pretty much always go for strong. Kuroda seems to usually go for stand forward when he gets a parry, which has far lower damage potential but is slightly more reliable. The thing is, stand strong builds a lot more meter and also combos into all of his supers. Every single super can be set up with stand strong except EX Super 1, which you never ever use. That was nice. That was a trip guard there. The low short on the cross up. I don't think it actually trip guarded because I don't think Kuroda did anything in the air. But it hit him, so whatever. A lot of actions like that carry a lot of risk in this game. Or a mirror again. In this game, for the most part, the risks you take are proportional to the rewards you reap, but that's not always true. Because there's things like an AJ. This is a bit stupid. Samurai House is a really good normal. The thing is, it just whiffs entirely on Crouching Aura, but it hits his fireball. That's good. Get the loop, get the loop, get the loop. Good starter. Tried to parry out, failed. You can parry out. It's impossible to block out though, if it's set up correctly. That was he fucked up his starter, but Kuroda didn't block correctly. Meaty stomp. Yeah, I knew. It was the right option. It's very difficult to parry out. That was good. Got the EX uppercut. Oro crouches really low, so the stones don't hit after overheads. So Oro can low block against himself really easily on 3 stone. Oh, but what I was saying about Samurai House is it beats a lot of other things, but the thing is, Oro can crouch under it, but all of his crouching normals raise him to a standing hitbox. which is kind of irritating when there's like a Shoto tattooing over your head. You can still do like your uppercut, but a lot of situations where you need to use your crouch and then you hit any button and it won't. The super is, I think, it's 4 inlaid hits, and I think throwing a fireball at it will remove one of them. So it's good to do that, I suppose. He doesn't need to do very much damage right now. I'll probably take a little break at an hour, 8 minutes in, since that's halfway through this video. And then I forgot to hit record. Oh god. These car fireballs again. They're playing this matchup dumb, but I think it's on purpose. I mean, they're playing it smart. They're playing it the way it's supposed to be played. They're both doing a little ridiculous with the staring roundhouse. But I don't know. That was a good staring roundhouse. You do actually hit staring roundhouse quite a lot in this matchup. It is actually a very good normal. It's probably his best poke, but a lot of characters can crouch it. So it's useless in some matchups, but in the matchups where characters can't crouch it, it's amazing. Like Alex and Hugo. It's not that good against Hugo, because Hugo's pokes interact favorably against it. But it's great against Alex. Like Urian, it's pretty good against him. Characters with high crouches. But this is probably... Oh, he got the parry, and he went for a really, really tiny punish. I don't understand why he favors command grabs so much. This is really weird. He's playing a really weird aura. Like, he could have gotten the stand strong into the full juggle into the full super. And that would have done so much damage. And he's up to the point that he's almost, you know... That's good. If you hit aura at the startup with that, the super never comes out. And it's got quite a lot of startups, so you usually have to go for it like the way that you would go for a landed healing. Create a safe scenario which you can get it off by getting like a throw or something like that. Kuroda has demonstrated complete inability to escape cross-up unblockable so far. I mean, it's hard. I can't escape cross-up unblockables. Very few pros can. I mean, I get it every now and then, just purely out of luck. But it's ridiculously difficult to escape those setups. I usually just go for the reversal stomp because that gets out of it 100% of the time. I mean, it forces you to get hit by it. Basically, you get hit airborne. You're airborne first frame with stomp. So you get hit airborne with all 4 hits of super, and then Oro can't do a good combo into like a new super. Basically, it removes his ability to do loops. It guarantees you're going to get hit by the super, and removes the ability for him to loop it on you. And since the loop is the really scary thing, you just eat the booger. Eat the booger. People call Oro Super 2 the booger. Because he pulls it from his forehead and it's green and it's, I don't know. The way that he pulls it out with 2 fingers from his forehead and it kind of looks like he's putting 2 fingers up to his nose and then pulling out this big green thing. I didn't make that up. I just hear people say it every now and then. Put the booger on the screen. People have a lot of really funny names for some of Oro's moves. Yeah, the stones screwed up his punish there. I think he thought that he was gonna run out of the stone timing pretty soon. Cross-up unblockable. He got it. He doesn't have enough super to continue it though. See that chicken combo? That's what they call the loop. This is a chicken combo. Chicken combo builds a ton of super meter when it lands. Like, watch any of these scenes and you'll realize, like, wow, this builds a lot of super meter. Builds basically slightly less than a whole bar of super 2. And most of a bar of super 3. So if you have about a bar and a half of super 2, you have enough super meter to loop chicken combo into meaty supers, unblockable supers, from full health to nil. Like, this brown Oro could just kill off a touch if he actually gets one, which I don't think he will at this point. He could have gone for a Crouch Fierce into a super reset, that would have been good. I would have done that. I wouldn't have just ended with the combo. He seems to prefer 3-stone this matchup to 5-stone. I usually prefer 5-stone because all the damage is guaranteed, even though it does slightly less damage overall most of the time. That was nice. That's why you use Stamina House in this matchup so much. It's because it's pretty much riskless from far out, especially if you're outside parry range. This is where they're always doing it. It's pretty much riskless, and it can just work like that.
Into the heat of battle. Go for it.
So the way that Oro's supers work is that he binds one of his hands, right? Whenever you input a super motion with all the buttons instead of just one button, it'll give you an EX super. Oro can EX his supers. He's the only character like that in this game. And then in Street Fighter 4, they made that like a universal mechanic, and that's what Ultras are. So just EX supers, you just hit all the buttons. So Oro's supers all have dramatically changed properties whenever he EXs them. And also the animations use both hands instead of just one hand. So Oro can fight with two hands, I guess. People frequently ask about that. They're like, it'd be cool if you made a mode where Oro could use both his hands and he was fighting at full power. The EX supers are not definitively better than... Ooh, that was good. The EX supers are not definitively better than the regular supers, though. Usually just one or the other is better, depending on the scenario. They're all actually pretty well balanced against each other. Super 1 is about as good as EX Super 1. Super 2 is actually much better than EX Super 2. But EX Super 2 is still occasionally useful. And then EX Super 3 and regular Super 3 are about equally useful. This kill. He went for kind of a... Oniyama does more damage than that follow-up. I'd have done Oniyama, because he already had full super meter, and so no need to screw around with damage. Because if that killed, but I think it only barely killed. Dash and sweep? Was he doing that? Oro sweep is kind of bad. It's pretty safe. It's kind of like Ken sweep. It doesn't go very far. It comes out pretty slow, but it's pretty safe. Ken sweep in Street Fighter 4, that is. Ken sweep in this game is different. Oro sweep is technically unsafe, but it very rarely, nice, connects at the range where it can be punished. Most people don't bother to use it though because it's got much better pokes. Interestingly, in this game, there's a custom animation for when a character is forward dashing and they get hit by a sweep. They fall forward instead of backward. They like trip forward over themselves. Kind of neat. Meaty parry is pretty good. A lot of Oros just wake up with parry into stand strong, myself included actually. And you can bait that by standing either inside or outside of close strong range and then going for meaty parry. That was nice. That was a good punish. Blocked, reacted to the stomp, made it whiff, and hit it during the ground recovery. Oh, it's a Hugo. This is a matchup that's solidly in Oro's favor. It's listed as being 7-3, and I've played Hugos that have convinced me that I think it might actually be 6-4, but then I think at the very, very highest level of play it might go back to 7-3 again. I feel like this matchup is on paper. I feel like at first look, it appears to be super in Oro's favor, which kind of is. But then the reasons that it's actually super in Oro's favor are actually very deep and elaborate. And Hugo actually has a lot of very conventional things he can use. This is a matchup where Oro completely turtles. Doesn't do anything, doesn't take any risks, just hangs back. It's kind of hard to build meter while hanging back in this game. I mean, it's not. It depends on your character. Most characters can whiff a normal to build meter. Oro's not very good at that. Oro's normals all whiff really slowly. That was a really bad punish. Stand roundhouse. He could have gotten stand strong 2 hits into a hard stomp maybe, or just a stand roundhouse or anything. That was nice. He went for stand strong, stand strong. He wanted the super. That's why he went for that. Hugo's very scary. The way that some characters work in this game, okay, so the way that Hugo works in this game is that while he's kind of bad on, like, a lot of his attacks are really slow, easily reactable, easily parried. The thing about Hugo is that his damage potential is immense. That doesn't work on Hugo. Why'd he go for that? You have to use 2 hits, stand strong into hard stomp. You use medium stomp. That just doesn't work on Hugo ever. This is like footage of Kuroda playing Oro, but like it seems like he doesn't even know half these matchups. He's doing really well, but he's not doing the Oro specific things against a lot of the matchups. I don't know how old this footage is, but like I would expect Kuroda to know this like immediately. I would expect this to just be stuff Kuroda knew. I don't know if he really screwed up or what. I don't know why you would ever go for that unless you just didn't know. That's the only thing I can think of, but I don't want to say that Kuroda didn't know that because that'd be really weird. Because Kuroda's a really good Oro player. I've seen him play like fucking really well. That's cost of Unblockable. It's very difficult for Hugo to deal with. Why? He did it again. Why? I mean, that time he already knew that it didn't work. That's really strange that he's going for that. Ugh. Anyway, the thing about Hugo is that he's rewarded, because his damage is so high, he's rewarded more for parries than most characters are. So there are characters who are theoretically on paper better than Hugo and Q, such as, I don't know, Remy, and maybe Elena. These characters are theoretically better than Hugo and Q, but because their damage, Remy and Elena's damage, is so bad, they basically don't get rewarded at all for landing parries. It's going to work. There's a lot of damage in this game, but he's Oro's still winning. So at the highest level, there have been a lot of successful Q and Hugo players because they get a lot of parries off. And there haven't been very many successful Remys or Elenas because their damage is really bad, so they're not very rewarded for landing parries. Ironically, parries hurt Hugo much more than they help him. Even with his command grab, MC jump throw. That was a regular throw. He didn't want to carry the risk of an SPD, which is smart because Kuroda jumped out. That was an SPD. It's very difficult to play this matchup, it should be obvious. This Hugo has more opportunities than he's gotten though. In fact, most of the time he's been close, he's had an opportunity to hit Oro. He had a jump in there. He just picked a really slow normal, I guess. It's really difficult in that scenario to get across Unblockable. He got an instant overhead though, so that was cool. Hugo is very tall. It's very easy to instant overhead him. This Hugo's attacking too much and parrying too little in his approach. I would have hung back. I would have let that super whiff. And then I would have started going in. The thing about that matchup that a lot of people don't realize is that Oro has a lot of trouble building meter in it. He only builds meter when he gets actual punishes. He gets virtually no meter from running away, and he needs supers all the time in order to actually keep Hugo out. He doesn't need them, but they help immensely. This is a matchup where Oro wins solidly in footsies. It's probably 7-3. Might be even worse at the highest level. Alex honestly has very little in this matchup. This might be that same Alex, same Super 1. Very few people run that, so it must be the same guy. EX/elbow is safe on block. It's not safe on parry, very few things are. It's going to be unblockable loop. The way that hit, it got 3 hits. I didn't see the setup. Or rather, I wasn't paying attention specifically to the juggle counter of the setup. That was nice. Alex probably could have beat that with a jump jab, but it would have been very unrewarding. It would have been better than dying. But the Alex was looking for probably a jump roundhouse or something. He connected too low on that. It was smart that he went for it. Jumping is the smartest way out of that. Basically eats the hits on purpose, but you don't get cross-up and blockable into infinite, which is, you know, nice. I think that was an attempted red parry on the EX/elbow. Safe on block, but not safe on parry. See that little command grab Alex has? It hits standing opponents, but it doesn't hit crouching opponents. And also, it needs to be spaced very carefully. It's not a very good move. It's one of the worst special moves in the game, honestly. But it does beat standing parries. This Alex just looks really helpless in this matchup. He tried to instant overhead with jump back forward, and then Stomp happened to dodge it somehow, even though that normally loses really badly to instant overheads. That only hits airborne opponents, unless it's EX. Super? He just went in. What's he doing? He's connecting that way too low. You're supposed to do a very early stand strong when Alex is cornered, and then do the hard stomp, and then you get a cross up, and then you can do the mid-screen unblockable. Oro's unblockable infinite only works mid-screen. he's going for those too close. That only worked because Alex tried to parry for the first hit. He should have just tried to block the whole thing, because then Aura wouldn't have been able to combo out of it. A lot of these people just don't know this matchup. That's just how it is with Aura all the time. A lot of people just don't know the matchup at all. I heard people say that this is one of his best DVDs. I can't imagine the Q DVD not being the best one though. Or maybe like the Hugo. Those are the ones that I'd watch immediately. Well, okay, the Aura one and probably the Elena one are the ones I'd watch immediately. I don't play Elena in this game, but like if I went back and started playing this game anew, and not just like running Aura like the same way I've always played this game, if I was trying to learn a new character, it would probably be Elena. The characters that I wish I could play in this game are like Yun, because he's good. Yun is really hard. Yun is very hard to play. Or like Remy. It's really cool to see a good Remy or a good Yun being played. But the character that I probably like playing the most is probably Elena. After Aura, that is. I've always liked seeing Elena match footage too. A lot of people think it's really boring. She has virtually no combos. It's not that she has no combos, it's just that very rarely do you get the opportunity to go for the combos in a meaningful way. That was good. That's the short. That's the combo you have to do against, Why does he do that? I don't understand. Why does he always go for medium stomp? It does nothing. He just lets you go out of the corner. He doesn't have his unblockables. He doesn't have his... Like, this matchup is really... He's not playing it right at all. And that upsets me. That was nice. Honestly, that was really obvious. The time's about to run out. And Kuroda was smart there. He was just holding down back. Even if he got SVD'd, it wouldn't have happened. It wouldn't have resolved before the time ran out. Hugo's SVD takes quite a long time to actually do damage. Hugo's so big and slow. Makes this matchup real difficult. Hugo's like the only character in this game with bad mobility. Everyone else in this game is amazing at moving. Well, Q has bad mobility too. But like everyone has really good movement. Like even characters you think would have bad movement, like Remy or Urian, have like amazing forward dashes and back dashes. Whoa! Running bear. Meat squasher. Meaty sweep from max range. Even if it was low parry, the worst thing that could happen was he get slapped with a stand strong. It's too far out for SPD to connect. That was nice. Kuroda's kind of got a mountain to climb. This is going to be an unblockable. Yeah. He didn't actually combo out of it, and he went for the wrong combo again. He has a combo there that works. I don't know if... I think he doesn't know the combo that works, and he's just doing the combo that doesn't work over and over for some bizarre reason. I don't know, dude. I don't know. I don't know if he's just trolling. I don't know. I mean, it's not like that combo had to be discovered at any point. I figured out the combo myself. The only thing I can think of is that Kuroda doesn't know there's a combo available there. And he just thinks, not that he doesn't know there's a, well yeah, he thinks that there's no combo available there. And thus he's not searching for one. That was way too close to activate that. You should throw the super from farther out so you have time to get the cross up. And that way you can hit Hugo on the ground. But that's mostly good if you're going to get the combo out of it. So you can get the juggle out of it. But he's not doing that, so I guess it doesn't really matter how close he activates as long as he gets the unblockable. But it's good to get the unblockable earlier because you also get the remaining hits of the super. He's got a bar, so he should win this even despite the life deficit. Supers are really useful. He's activating that from too close. Hugo has no good way out. The worst thing he can do is EX clap. Burn an EX bar. Just the thing about EX clap is that it removes 3 hits from Aura's super, so you can't do unblockables with it because it's just a 1-hit fireball. But it basically guarantees you're going to get hit by the remaining hit of the super, which is not that bad because it doesn't do very much damage. So now Kuroda's running Super 2 against Shadows. He was previously running Super 3. They're both about equally viable. Super 2 is better on paper because it leads to his infinites and stuff. The thing is, Super 2 requires good execution and consistency. It's very difficult to get the chicken combo on Shadows, so you have to hit repeated 2-frame links every single time. I get them probably about 90% of the time. But if you drop one, your infinite drops, so. And there's no, like, blinking in this game. You got the red parry. That's really good. Now he's going for the unblockable setup. He does a very weird ghetto setup. That wouldn't have worked if Ken had just blocked. Yeah, and he missed the 2-frame window. So there you go. Kuroda drops it. What if this is just like two random people playing and it's just listed as Kuroda DVD? That'd be funny. Honestly, like the person, this is very clearly, not necessarily Kuroda, but a very clearly a high skill player by the number of red parries that are happening. Like, your average Joe wouldn't be able to do this. And it'd be almost impossible to orchestrate. Since this is just continuous footage, like we can see the win counter going up. Low strong is a really good normal for Ken because if it hits, he can actually get a reaction link into Super 3. Same with stand strong actually. He red parried the second of that fireball and tried to get Stammer House to catch Ken trying to move in afterwards. I thought that would just hit actually, but it didn't. See that reaction high block on the universal overhead, but it was actually too far out to connect. Kind of interesting. Kuroda's aura is very non-actiony. Spends most of the match doing nothing. That's nice. He does the really weird unblockable setup again. That one's not reliable. And Ken actually got out of it with just, you know, basic parrying. You're supposed to go for the actual cross-up, or like, there's basically two different ways you can do it. Well, there's a million different ways you can do it, but there's two different overarching ways that you can do it. One is with a double jump that auto-corrects, and the other is with a non-double jump that crosses up. The non-double jump that crosses up is much more reliable. It's harder to connect, but it more easily gives you all the time you need. I think this Ken wasn't aware of the time, because if he was aware of the time, he'd be going for sweep instead of flip short. He needs to do a lot of damage real fast. Wouldn't have worked anyway. That was a good EX uppercut. You don't normally see that in reaction to fireballs. It's a really interesting answer. I think even regular Oniyama can trade favorably with fireballs, if not even beat them. Oniyama's a really interesting move. It doesn't look like Buffalo Headbutt, but it has a lot in common with Buffalo Headbutt. There's no FADCs in this game. Your reversals are honest. If you guess on a reversal and it doesn't work, it's your ass. Oro can actually do a reversal EX Oniyama into Super, and it's interruptible, especially with like Ken Super 3. But a lot of characters have trouble interrupting it, but it costs an EX bar and a Super to do. EX bars are not defined in this game, which a lot of people coming from Street Fighter 4 find really strange. They always deduct the same amount of meter to do, but you can't easily see when you have an EX bar. You get used to the amount of meter they require. Basically, the bar flashes as long as you've got enough meter to do something, but unfortunately that something counts as a super. Or a super counts as that something. So like the meter's flashing even though like Ken's meter right now, it's like a speck, but it's flashing because he's got enough to do a super. But when you have like 0 bars, it starts flashing as soon as you have enough for an EX. So it'll tell you when you have at least one EX available, but that's only, it won't tell you if you've got an EX and a super available, which would be a nice feature. It'd be nice if it only started flashing when you had an EX, regardless of the number of meters you already had stocked. Here's the mirror again. It's where I was using Super 3. I'm probably going to pause it after this one. Upload this in 2 parts. pokes and things. Once again, this is a very stalematy match where the offender tends to lose. That meaty dash through only works on quick stand. A lot of people like to do normals immediately, just to get the surprise connect. In my experience, that usually works, but I guess a lot of the people I do it on don't really know. I've never been subjected to it. If instead of parrying that jump roundhouse, he did a stand short, he would have the jump roundhouse would have whiffed, and the stand short would have whiffed, and then the stone would have hit the jump roundhouse, and then he would have been able to juggle into stand roundhouse. Little aura tricks that he's not using. Would have been a guaranteed punish there. Instead, he went for something that was not a guaranteed punish and led to nothing.
Fighters ready. Engage.
The sound is slightly desync. I didn't even notice. Salmon House. Look how well it trades with fireballs. He could have dashed in and got it towards strong there. On reaction to the high fireball hitting. It's kind of a high level Oro thing. I would expect it from Kuroda, but he's not really playing high level Oro. He's just sort of playing high level in general. Which I heard wasn't true for the Oro tutorial, so I'm kind of sad. I mean, Oro tutorial. Oro DVD. It's not a tutorial. A lot of people learn from them, I guess. Well, they just sort of just high level play. That was some good defense on the super, I guess. He didn't die anyway. That might have been a punish. If you actually block Universal overhead, they're quite unsafe. And I think Oro stand forward is, close stand forward is like 4 or 5 frames. It's quite fast. Most normals are pretty slow in this game. Oro actually is a 3-frame button, which is quite rare. Technically speaking, it's a 2-frame button. Technically speaking, it has 2 frames of startup, which means it hits on the 3rd frame, which by this game's notation, missed the block, is a 2-frame normal, and by Street Fighter 4's notation is a 3-frame normal. Most people in this game count attacks by startup frames. Something has 2 startup frames, it's a 2-frame normal. Street Fighter 4, they count things by the frame they hit, which is more convenient for judging links. Something hits on the 3rd frame. 3-frame normal. But of course it has 2 startup frames either way. That was nice. Early jump forward. Early jump forward again. That was nice. It's a neutral jump strong, I think. Maybe a neutral jump jab. The animation's identical.
Now.
Probably neutral jump strong though. Yeah. That kind of jump over is really bad because Oro can stand strong and it's a double parry and you don't get anything for getting both parries. So it's just very risky. And it doesn't have to be a stand strong either. Like Oro can make you land into a command grab, or you can make you land into one hit of stand strong into instant super jump, like normals, stuff like that. It's just a bad mix-up. You'd prefer not to be in the air in this matchup. I mean, jumping is still useful, but Oro's got better anti-air than his jump-in game. Let's punish. And I'm gonna pause it here. I'll be back in a minute. Won't be any time about all of you guys. Well, I guess I'll make it 2 separate videos, so I guess you'll just have to go and find the second video and click on it or whatever.